Y'all, uh, this one, top line is being used. There's a huge part of the human nature and human spirit that battles with each other. On one part, you got the supply, and then on the other part, you got the demand. So there's a part of people that wants to have a supply of things. Either they want to have a supply of money, a supply of prestige, a supply of influence, a supply of resources, a supply of connections, a supply of uh, amenities. You know, people want to have that supply. They want to, people can't use you if you don't have anything. And most important, that people should want to have a supply of is energy. Well, people also, we all have our egos. We're, there's a lot of things that incorporate into the sinful nature of human beings. And that comes out with, we want it to be demanded. We want there to be a demand for our attention. We want to have value. We want to have worth. We want to be acknowledged. Well, therein lies the conundrum. The first thing I would say is, I've learned that just the whole concept of people using you, people playing you, people hustling you. Before I go any further, I'm going to say the only resource you should care about people using you for, or people hustling you for, is your energy, your spirit. That's really the one thing that you should be stingy about, selfish about. Outside of that, this is just a bunch of worldly crap. That's where I think we mess up, is it's just a bunch of worldly crap. And we attach all of this value to it. And then from the value we attach to it, we start to see who wants it and see who's too eager for it. Well, that creates a huge problem for us. It's a huge problem that we've been dealing with for a while. And this is where it's led us. We're now to a point where we're always looking out for who's trying to get over on us and who's trying to take advantage of us. Well, here's the fallacy in that. When you start to think you got stuff like that figured out, that's when you really get infiltrated. That's when you really get hustled. Because you really can never stop people from using you. So I would say the best solution is to not even care whether people are using you or not. See, if you take your attention away from defending yourself from being used and put it on the offense of, how can I use this person? Or is this person serving any purpose or bringing anything to the table or any asset? Are they bringing financial aspects? Are they bringing ideological aspects? Are they bringing moral support? Are they bringing encouragement? Are they bringing enticement. Sometimes people motivate you through a challenging way, um, light a fire underneath you, basically. Are they bringing you some type of comfort, some type of peace? Um, are they offering you some type of safety or security? Those are the type of things that I think all people should just keep in consideration when they decide to have a bond with anybody. Now, from that, if that's in order and that's lucrative to you, that's good enough. You know, trying to keep score on things, well, I just gave you a 15% boost and you only gave me a 3% boost. I don't feel that this is a mutual advantageous position for me to be in, man, because you getting more out of me than I'm getting out of you. Okay. There are sometimes that could be true, but again, if you're grounded and you know that you're not letting your supply get depleted, if you really got some sense of confidence, you'll be like, well, my supply can't be depleted. Even if you are using me for whatever you're using me for, that stuff comes in abundance to me. I got that in abundance. So, and for whatever reason, what's going on with you, you need it or want it, like that's a whole separate thing to me. What I'm over here on is, man, y'all can't really bankrupt me. Y'all can't bankrupt my spirit because y'all can't bankrupt my energy. Y'all can't bankrupt my confidence. Y'all can't bankrupt my beer. Y'all can't, you know, y'all can't bankrupt my liquor. Y'all just the little stuff from biggest to smallest that people care about. If you really content with yourself, you wouldn't even matter. It wouldn't even matter to you. Now here's when it does matter a little bit too much. This is more what this video is about. When it matters too much, it's generally because people don't have self-esteem. They don't have confidence. They don't really know what it is they have. Let me give you an example. I don't know. I remember back in high school and college, those younger days, people would have their little parties and some people would have beer and then other people wouldn't. Me personally, I wasn't into that stuff. And if so, I would have had my own. Like, that was just kind of how I rolled. Like, it doesn't matter if it was a huge keg party or if it was one of those parties where everybody just handing out beer. I don't know. It was just something about myself where it's like, yo, I'm going to show up with my own little six pack. Or I'm going to show up with my own little tall boy. Um, I got my own little bottle. Like, that was just me. Um, so it wasn't even really a matter of whether or not I was using them for their beer. And there surely were people that would show up just to drink their beer and, whatever. But see, here's the thing. Even in that context, you would have your people that was so content with what they had going on or so content with what was going on, they would just open their door and, half of the people maybe they would know, some people they would know of, and then there would be some people that were strangers, but it was like they just was cool with it because somehow or another the supply and who's getting it didn't really matter too much to them. They just figured, hey, I'm cool regardless of who comes over here and drinks my beer. I'm cool whether or not this guy ever hooks me up with a beer or comes and brings me a beer, you know. I'm just I'm just chilling, man. I'm enjoying the moment. It's not even really like I'm keeping tabs on who this guy's had 4 beers and this guy's drank like 10. Like, they just they doing all that for a completely different reason, which is a whole nother topic. But you see what I'm saying? That cool person that's got a lot of options, I guess, or got a lot of friends, or got a lot of other things to put their attention on as far as social stuff goes. They don't really be tripping about that stuff too much. The only thing they would trip about is if you just a whack person that come in messing up the whole order of things. Cause see, at that point, if you just come in and trying to fight people all the time, or you, mind you, they don't care about the beer, but if you trying to take beers and put them in your pocket and leave, well, then they got a problem. It's like, hey, bro, if you're gonna drink the beers, drink them here, but don't be taking them somewhere else. The people who really start having an issue are the people who don't really have a lot of, I don't know what to call it, social swagger, um, social fortitude. And here's what I'm kind of getting at. I would have my parties. I would never have a big party because I didn't rock with a lot of people. And had I have been smarter, I would have rocked with even less people than I did. I thought I had it figured out, but you never really do. You always learn more in life. I would have my little small parties, but see, I was different. I didn't care about who was consuming what I had to offer, who was who's taking more shots and who's drinking more beer and all of this, who's eating more of the chips. I didn't care about all that. I just cared about what are you bringing to this party. If you was that guy that don't never come with no beer, you don't never offer me a beer, you don't never offer me, a shot or whatever, but you turned up my little party, you kept the energy cool at my little get together. That's all I needed. That's what I'm getting from you. So, mind you, I'm so cool in my mind, buddy. You can go up 30-0 as far as beers and shots and all of this stuff goes. And I feel like we break it even, man, because really the only thing I care about is the energies that come around me. At that point, is you chill? Is you gonna try to fight against my energy? Or you gonna try to fight against the energy of those around me that I'm vibing with? You got your own energy that you're gonna be able to just be self-sufficient on, because I could rock with you too. You know, if there's 15 people somewhere, you might have a little group of five over here, a group of five over here, and then you got one or two people that's just kind of chilling, doing their own thing. I appreciated that person too. You know, that person can get to a sense where folks think they're using them. It's like, well, they're at the party and they're not talking to people. Like they're just kind of antisocial. I think that person's just here to drink my beer. See, that's you care too much about being used now, because that person might just be a free spirit, carefree person that's just kind of happy to be there, and there might be something that they like about coming to your party. It's like, oh man, I feel kind of like chill here, and maybe they just don't talk, and hell, man, maybe they waiting for some people to approach them or something. You know what I'm saying? Maybe maybe they not the type of person that's gonna come in your party and just kind of implement their own presence. Some people some people just aren't like that, and it can get to a point where it's like, oh, that guy just comes over to, yeah. It's like, no, that might not be what it is. Or you'll have people that actually do bring They doing the complete opposite. And this is where that type of logic isn't good. You will have people that are supplying your uh stock. You will have people where you open the door and they got a 30 pack every time they roll up. You got 60 beers and here they come with 30. So it's like, damn, we got 90 now. Like, okay, like you just brought a third of the supply that we got. Like, but that don't mean they should pass your test either, because sometimes that can't. Okay, so you're not seeing that they using you in the sense that you valuing your worldly possessions and who's gaining access to them, but they might be using you as in they using your platform to pull off their crap. Like they want to use your place to entertain their friends and have their friends come over to your place. And then once their friends come over to your place, their friends don't even see you as the head of your place. They see them as the head of your place. So it's like two different factions going on within your get together. It's you and what you got going on, and then the guy who always got a 30 pack of beer has his own little faction within yours where it's like you just start to notice it's like, hey, you guys are kind of like a group within my group, but you're not even acknowledging the big group. Like you just kind of y'all know what I'm talking about. You invite one of your friends over, then your friends invite two or three of their friends, and next thing you know, the little side group of friends is just like throwing a monkey wrench in the whole situation. Y'all like listen to whatever y'all listen to, and this extracurricular branched group that just came be like, man, they just be hey man, change that. Like, hey, nah, we don't do that. Like, hey, that's nah. Or like, oh, what is that? We don't drink that. Oh, that's gross. And like, and then they kind of like won't let it go. And like, they just kind of chime like, man, yeah, the place is all right, man. This music's whack as hell, but and it's kind of like, hey, you messing up my energy. I didn't create that energy. That's an energy being created in your little group. See, stuff like that'll slide past people. Next thing you know, this group done. There would never been no fights at your parties or get together, but because of the energy that these people are bringing, now there's like conflict and controversy and stuff. They using your platform. They using you for your place, basically. They using you as a venue. And people seem to not see that. And then the other side of all of this is people not having the social fortitude to the point where you think people are using you when they're not. I'll give you an example. And I just recently had this happen. It was probably a year or two ago. So there was a friend that I would come over, and when I would go over to his house, and this is probably the crazier thing about it. Now that I think about it. So let me just say this before I tell this story. One of the best ways to prevent ever feeling like you're being used is to keep things mutual, keep things balanced. Like if you have a friend, and this is just me personally, I'm an only child. I feel like only childs are cooler than you all. Sorry. I know there's a lot of siblings, but see, when you are only child, your social game has to be different. You don't have no people that's just gonna be in your life regardless. You know what I'm saying? Like, ain't nobody gotta rock with you. You gotta have something that makes people want to be your friend. You gotta have some type of charisma or something if you want to pull them things off. You got brothers and sisters, you just be riding their wave. If your brother cool, then you halfway cool. If everybody hates your brother, they halfway probably hate you too. That would be the negative side of it. But then also that just worked the other way because you can have sisters and one of them just is hated, and then by default the other one just be kind of beloved. just because people want to see the opposite. And you know what I'm saying? Like, y'all ain't really got to do too much. I'm just saying. And it's just easier. But see, and the other thing is, I feel like only children are quicker to cut people off. We could talk about that too. Which is more forgiving, people with siblings or only children? Who's better at upholding boundaries, siblings or only child? That can get sticky because you can say siblings are better at upholding boundaries because they used to dealing with the aftermath and stuff that comes when they gotta uphold the boundary and defend the boundary. Like y'all end up fighting. The That would be the good thing, but the bad part about that is you're gonna make up and get over it. You almost kind of have to in theory. Y'all live together. Y'all kind of like two peas in a pot. You know, you and your sister gonna have to make up. You and your brother gonna have to make up. Only children don't look at it like that. It's like, bro, you mess up one time, it's up to me whether I choose to rock with you or not anymore. Like I can just cut you off. You see what I'm saying? Like and it ain't nothing to cut that off. So but then on the flip side, only childs and stuff, I also notice with them too, they kind of yearn for friendship. They yearn for partnership because they always alone. So they tend to just tolerate a little bit more crap from people just because they tired of being lonely. And it's like, well, these people do be kind of using me and taking advantage of me, but I don't want to be lonely. Well, running with kind of that last type of mentality that I had, that last type of mentality isn't very healthy. See, with something like that, before other people even come into play, there's something wrong with kind of how you looking at yourself and your own value. And when you got those type of problems, you'll just be projecting that people using you. You'll just be projecting that people out to get you, or you'll just be, you always looking for it because you like on the defense, I guess. Which leads me to the top part of it. I don't know who needs to hear this, but I feel like some people do. I don't really make these videos and stuff for healed people. I don't even make it for broken people necessarily. I just make it for the fact that somebody be needing to hear this stuff. They be needing to hear it because maybe they haven't thought about it this way before. They be needing to hear it because maybe they do kind of have this line of thought, but they just need some encouragement to know that, like, hey, nah, you're not weird for thinking like that. There's other people that see it like that too. Maybe they just haven't said it. But a lot of things that I noticed came to play with this one incident a year or so ago, where I would have this guy and I would go over to his place, which was the first mistake because I went over to his place too much. He never really came over to mine. So right then and there, the dynamic was messed up because it was like I was always the away team and he was always the home team. So what I kind of started to notice is the very rare times that he was the away team, he still thought he was the home team in his mind. He would be over at my house trying to implement his ways. And like he done got so comfortable within our friendship, he's too comfortable telling me what to do, basically. Now you're gonna get a certain set of respect just because I'm a respectful person if I'm over at your place, even if it's not really stuff I agree with. But you're gonna compromise when you come over to my place, especially if I'm willing to do that for you. Sorry. This is just how it is. If if I say, if you got some weird rule like no shoes in the house, and like I respect that, But then when you come over to my house, it's like, hey, that's a topic we don't talk about here. You can't be like that topic is not spoken about in this house. You can't be, well, what you talk about? Why not? Like, were you trying to? How you gonna tell me what I could talk about or what I can? You know, they be having that mentality, and I'm like, hey, okay, it wasn't even that serious, but now that you're making it that serious, the reason I can tell you what we're gonna talk about and not talk about in my house is equivalent to you telling me that I must remove my shoes when I'm in yours. How do you not see that? Why does that need to be articulated to you? There's a lot of people, if you pay attention to them, you got to articulate stuff like that to them. And there'd be a lot of stuff that's unbalanced and out of sync sometimes if you just pay attention to those things. So, anyway, I would go over to his place more often than not. And that just kind of, I guess, gave a level of comfortability. And the reality of it is, half of the time I would go over to his place, I wouldn't even have a drink. Be quite honest with you, I didn't like the stuff that he drank. And I'm not that much of a drinker. So I was hanging out with this dude for his camaraderie and his company and for the conversations that we would have. But this guy's mind was on something else. And hear me out. When you have low self-esteem within yourself, when you have low social fortitude, you start to think, well, there's no reason why anybody would want to be my friend outside of using me. Like, why would somebody want to hang out with me? Oh, it must only be because of my beer, because of my liquor, or because of my video games, or, because there's always girls over here, because there's always guys over here, because we always got food, we be having little cookouts and stuff. You got to get out of that, because really nobody can be your friend. It doesn't matter how they come. If they really are using you, you're probably going to second guess yourself longer than you should, because you're like, oh, well, what if I'm wrong? I could be wrong considering that I think this about everybody. And then be the times that you actually right, but you second guessing yourself because you know that you be applying this too much. To the point where somebody that generally wants to be your friend comes by, and lo and behold, and I'm gonna be honest with you, it's very intricate, and I'll make another video about why these people find the gumption and find the energy to call you out, even when you're not. Like, hey buddy, I don't know if you've paid attention, but the last 3 times I've come over, you've offered a drink, and it actually just sat there. I didn't even drink it one time because we were engaged in conversation, which is what I'm about. The second time, I took like a couple of sips. I drank. You should be more mad about me wasting your liquor or something than me using you for it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this don't really make sense. Anyway, long story short, this guy just chops off his nose to spite his face. And, you know, it got to a point where, and then this is the other thing. When people like that have, it's in essence, we're talking about a low self-esteem. You can't even disagree with these people, because when you disagree with them, and especially, like, look, I'm not an agreeable person, okay? I don't think people should, especially men, I don't think men should be as agreeable as this world wants. This world makes it seem like being agreeable is a virtuous thing that everybody should want to be. No. So if we're talking about something and I disagree with you, I should be able to present my opposite view. We should be able to talk about who's the best team, what's the coolest song, or you know, who's the best boxer of all time. Like, we should be able to talk about stuff like that. And if I'm on the outside of a lot of your opinions, well, see, if you have some confidence and some social fortitude, you would understand that people that you socialize with that don't necessarily provide an echo chamber for you, that don't mean that they not even really your friend or something like that. Those actually might be your friends because they aren't the type of people that care about telling you what you want to hear all the time or ever. In my case, I really don't ever care about what you want to hear. Um, Not saying that I won't say the things that you want to hear, but that's not. Mm-mm. Because I don't feel like I'm your friend if I'm just my first and second mentality is what you want to hear. No, that's not what it is. Those things come to play when it's like, man, yo, I need to say something to get this person out this hole. Or yo, man, I need to say something to get this person out this rut. And man, I need to lift this person's spirits up. And man, I need to distract this person from whatever the hell it is that's got them caught up right now. Or, man, I need to talk this guy down. Or, I need to kind of rain on his parade a little bit or whatever. Them be your friends. People who don't do that to you, best look out. Them be the ones that's using you. And you'll get it misconstrued because sometimes those people using you, they got more resources than you. Like I said, with the person who bring beer every time, but they still using you somewhere that you're not even willing to entertain. It take a while for you to figure that out. Like, oh, how come something gets stolen only when these people are here? How come there's only a fight when these people are here? How come the police show up only when these people are here? How come something get broken only when these people are here? Take you a while to see that type of stuff. But if you content with yourself, you're not out here assuming that people are using you so quickly. Especially on behalf of the fact that when you hang out with somebody, they're not agreeing with everything you say. That doesn't matter whether you at their house or whether they at your house. You shouldn't expect just because someone's socializing with you or just because you have a genuine friend that they're going to be agreeing with everything that comes out of your mouth. Like, how low is your self-esteem and confidence? Like, my opinion of your opinions is that high up in your psychology and mine, to the point where you starting to think, well, maybe this person just comes over to drink my liquor because they don't agree with me on half of the things. Half? Some of us got some really high expectations. How many friends do you have that you agree with more than half of the time? It's an interesting thing to think about. How many friends do you agree with 75% of the time? How many friends do you have that you agree with 100% of the time? Then think about those friends that you have that you like only agree with like 25% of the time. Think about them friends. Do you have any friends that y'all don't ever agree on nothing except that both of y'all good people and that y'all gonna be friends? That's the only, and that y'all not gonna disrespect each other, and that y'all are gonna have each other's back when the time comes, if you're able. That be the only thing y'all agree on. Y'all don't like the same food. Y'all don't really like the same music. Y'all don't really like the same type of girls. You know, y'all don't drink the same stuff. This guy's over here drinking like mixed stuff. Like, I mean, this could be me. I'm like that with a lot of people. If you hang out with me and you drink with me, be prepared for me to be outside of your box, because you 9 times out of 10 you can't be in my box. My box is too exquisite. Don't take it the wrong way, but that's just how it is. Like, I don't drink soda, um, so that, we that just cancels out like the mixed drink stuff. I don't do high fructose corn syrup, so like that cancel out like, y'all be having some type of juice in here with the alcohol. It's like, but that juice is high fructose corn syrup stuff. So no, um, there's just certain stuff I don't like. Vodka like that. Um, I really just don't like drinking. But like, so I'm drinking something that people think weird. I'm like, yeah, let me get like a little a gin and lime juice um on the rocks or something. Let me get a cranberry and bourbon. Like, I don't know, something that y'all could be like, ooh, and I'm just like, hey, whatever. I'm chilling. So, hey, that's just me, you know? There's not really ever any way I'm gonna have to worry about somebody using me for my alcohol, because 9 times out of 10, you come over here for my alcohol, it's something different that you don't even really like. I might just be able to just finesse all my alcohol past you. See, I figured out stuff like that a long time ago. See, that'd be the other problem with y'all. Y'all be trying to be too compatible with people. That's why y'all be worried about people using you all the time, because you too compatible. You too usable to people. You can't really be. Do you? You know what I'm saying? Like, I drink like some scotch. You drink scotch? Most people, ugh. And then when I drink scotch, it's room temperature type stuff. Uh, or if I put it on some rocks, it's got stones in it. It's not water. Either I'm gonna mix the scotch with water or something, which is, or I'm gonna have stones in it, which is, frozen stones that serve as ice cubes, but they not melted. You rock with that? So, now people be coming over, they be like, yeah, I'm good. Like, yeah. If I was some of y'all, I'd be looking at rejection. Like, why are you gonna come over to my place and not partake in what I want to drink in? Yo, that's a whole nother thing that people be on. Like, well, if you're coming over to my house, you have to like the things that I like. Because if you're coming over to my house and you don't like the things that I like, there must be some other motive. What are you up to? Like, that's just kind of how it be. Like, just stop trying to be so agreeable. Stop looking for other agreeable people. Just because somebody don't like, stop looking for friends that stroke your ego like that. Look for friends that reinforce what you are and who you are. And reinforcement, that can come in all sorts of ways, man. Not just stroking your ego, patting you on the back, and being agreeable. Long story short, when people start to think that they're getting used and they're not actually being used, like this guy, I wasn't using him. I don't care about I don't really like what you drink. If we gonna be honest, that's why it stay on the table half of the time. Like, them 10 sips I take, 3 of them is just in stride, like, oh, it's there and we talking, and I saw you take a drink and then I take a drink, but after each sip I'm like, oh yeah, I don't like this stuff. But anyway, yeah, and then I go back to the conversation and you take a drink, then I take one, and I'm like, oh damn, I don't like this. You know what I'm saying? I'm not thinking about what you thinking about. I give you another one. Girls. You know the issue I used to have when I was little? Or when I was younger? See, I was just different. Um, there's just a whole lot of social. Because my social fortitude is like so on point that I be like repelling people. That's where I am. Like I'm so like so shelled up, so armored up that my social for I be repelling people before I be having to worry about people use me. And here's something that was funny. I can at least think of two or three girls, one in particular. She's so she pitiful in a lot of ways. She really cool and we could have had something, but she really pitiful. Just for this type of stuff. Because this is something, this is going back to like almost 20 years ago or something, 18 years ago. And basically, she still has this low self esteem. And when you have low self esteem, when you like 19, 20, 21, 22, all you do is come up with intricate ways of concealing it by the time you 30, 35, 40, 50. You still an insecure 55-year-old? You ain't got no more self-esteem or confidence in yourself at 55 than you did when you were 18? Who can do anything with that? Yeah, everybody taking advantage of you at this point. Damn. In your mind, like, yeah, who would like you? Who would want to go out on a date with you outside of having sex? Who would want to come over? Who would want to go over to your house outside of having sex? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what you thinking because you just. So I remember it ain't the only time it's happened, but the time that it just kind of drew out and it was like a saga was I would have this one particular girl I was interested in come over, and I guess I'm so weird and outside of the loop of social expectations that this is what I would do if I was dating you or I liked you in college. I wish I kept this because had I kept this, I wouldn't have some of the stuff I'm dealing with in life right now. I let these things go because you know what? I could talk about myself in this video about how I lost confidence and whether or not this was working or should I just stop. But anyway, my whole thing was like when I was in college and stuff, if you were a girl and I was interested in you, I would intentionally invite you over to my crib or try to go out on a date with you and man, let's keep it real. You know good and well you hang out with somebody one, two, or three times, y'all gonna end up hooking up. Either the first time, the second time, or the third time. I would just not do it until the third time. Not even try until the third time. Not to say my bones didn't get jumped a couple of times, but as far as me initiating it, nah. First time we hang out, nope, I ain't even. I'm trying to feel you out and see what's up with you. Second time I hang out with you, I'm testing you. Like, hey, what's your favorite drink? Uh, a cosmopolitan? Uh, that's disgusting. What's your favorite color? Green? Uh, mm. Like I mean, you know, just to see what's up with you. All of that stuff go well. You know, you might unlock some. But see, most guys ain't even like that. Most guys is out here trying to see. It's the funny fallacy. Even there. Let's even talk about that. That's gonna be the last dynamic, and I'm gonna end it. So you got girls out here worried too much about being used. He just wants to. And then in my case with these girls, it's like, wait a minute. Like this one girl, she got it basically blew her brains all over the ceiling that the first time that she came over to my place, I didn't try to have sex with her, basically. And if I really, really thought about how things would end up playing out between me and this girl, I would have just cut her off right then. I would have been like, you know what? That's too weak right there. Because it's not like you just curious, like, hey, why didn't you, try to, it's more like, mm, mm, well, you missed your opportunity. And I'm like, what you talking about? And she like, I mean, well, I guess just playing this, really trying to hide the fact that you have no self esteem, you're insecure about yourself, and most guys that do invite you over to their place, and most guys that do like you only want to have sex with you. You so caught up on that you can't even possibly entertain the fact that like, yo, I might end up being your husband, or like I might, or even not that, like, yo, I might end up being a foundational boyfriend for you. Like I might give you a 3 to 5 year grace period with all this crap out here. You know how all these stupid people like, you can't be having a boyfriend or girlfriend like in college. You shouldn't get that. And then you just get yourself hurt, and you go through pain. Yo, like what, freshman, sophomore year of like, whatever. And then that stuff basically affects you for the rest of your life, man. Like you could skip that stuff with people. And then she was one of those girls that probably would have been willing to skip it, but because I didn't try to have sex with her soon enough. And it's like, okay, so basically because I didn't use you the way everybody else be using you, you just gonna give me the ultimate backlash of using you. So now you're basically gonna give me the same animosity and wrath that you can't give to all of these other people that hit it and quit it. Now you see I'm not one of those people you're gonna try to like feminize my energy. Like what? Like you're gonna try to like basically put me in, now you're gonna try to cause tension in the relationship because you just don't understand that somebody might actually want to be your friend. Somebody I might just actually like you. Like what if they just like you? I mean, yeah, maybe they would have sex with you too, but what if that's not, what if they don't get down like everybody else gets down? Moral of the story, this is what I'm saying to people. Some people ain't on your level. Some people are vibrating lower than you, and you can't waste your time with them. Because if you waste your time with them people, all they're going to do is size you up and come at you the same way they come at other people. And you probably one of those people that have made it a point to not be like those type of people. Those type of people that they used to. Somebody just go. See, they don't even understand that you're too cool for what they're even projecting at you. And that's another projecting, man. Be careful when you accuse somebody of using you. This is what I'm getting at. More often than not, when you're wrong about somebody using you, basically you're making yourself look like a fool. And that generally is the end of the friendship. Like this guy that got kind of mad because I wasn't agreeing with what he was saying, and then he just got to the point he was like, well, you must just come over here to hang out and drink my liquor, man, and blah 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 blah. I'm like, whoa, wait, because I don't agree with you on this. So here's why you don't want to be around those type of people. It doesn't matter. I'm using that, but even if it's if you got a business and your friend got a business, and somehow or another your friend get to the point of thinking that the only reason why you're hanging out with them is so you can like boost the popularity of your business, so you can ride his clout wave. If you got somebody that thinks that, they probably don't understand that you are too cool to be wasting your time and energy and putting on a front and a facade just to get someone's clout. That's something they do. See, you the type of person that would do that. They're basically letting you know they're the type of person that would do that. Or that they think you're the type of person that would do that. But see, in my mind, I'm like, hey, picture me not liking you. Picture me not really having respect for you. And I'm going to say, oh, well, he got a bottle of Crown Royal, and I really like Crown Royal. I'm going to go over here and pretend to like this guy for 2 or 3 hours just so I could drink a couple of shots of Crown Royal. Just formulating that hypothetical is gross to me. Because then after I said it, I thought it out for like 3 seconds, and I was just like, yeah, that's a pathetic person. But basically what they'll project on you is that you're a pathetic person. So be careful. Because some people so damaged and broken that you can't really have no bond with them. You can't be their friend because they're just going to be looking at the fact that you're using them. And when it's all said and done, the reason that they think you're using you is because they don't think they have any value. I'm going to wrap this all up and get my bottom line. Man, be stingy with your time. Be stingy with your energy. Be stingy with your attention. Be stingy with your company. Don't be giving it to people who don't deserve it. People who too high on themselves and arrogant, like, well, he must be using me. You know what I mean? Like, there's some people where they're like, well, you gotta be because you ain't got shit compared to what I got, or maybe you just ain't got shit at the moment. Maybe you just in a rut, and yeah, whatever, bro. You don't wanna waste your time with those people. You also don't want to waste people that are on the opposite end of the spectrum, which is so shallow and on a low vibration that they can't even see their own value. So they don't understand how anybody else could either. I don't know who needed to hear this, but I hope it hit home with some of y'all.